Hi everyone, so today I want to try out some of these new items that LDRS Creative brought to their site for their like spring collection, love collection, super cute. I already did kind of like a show and tell of the ones that I haven't received for a review, so they did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. But today I just want to try out a few of these items. I did bring out both of these. I'm not going to use both because they're both frames and I'm going to pick one. But I want to show you these guys. So they have a really nice little system in this collection where you have like these frames, but you also have monograms that will fit nicely within these frames. These are Letterpress plates. I should back up a second. So they're called impression dies. That's how they name them there. LDRS Creative Impression on die letterpress, and so they do work in the Spellbinders Letterpress. So today I'm going to go ahead and use one of the rectangle frames, and of course the little Cupid's arrow. This is so cute. I've seen some of the samples on their site, and I think one of them they had foiled this like in your glimmer machine or whatever machine you use to foil. It looks really cute. I have not used any of these kinds of plates in my glimmer machine or my foil press or anything like that, but I see people are doing that and it works great. So if that's something you're interested in doing, you can try it out. Looks really, really pretty. Today we're going to letterpress this one, so it's going to be inked up, and I am going to cut him out because I think what I want to do is just use like a metallic paper and go ahead and run one of these guys through, probably this one, the classic rectangle frame. The other one's called Elegant Rectangle Frame, and let's see if it says on the sizing on the back. No, let me just give you a quick size because I'm not going to use both of them today, but I'm going to use one. This one, the design itself is like 4.5 inches tall and about 3.5 inches wide. I'm trying to see if I can get all these bits in here. And this one is just over 5 inches tall, possibly. Let's see, edge to edge, and 3 5/8 or so wide. And then I plan on getting this little guy cut out and popped on there. And I'm gonna run this through some metallic paper, so we're gonna get the impression of this without ink. It'll just be on the metallic paper, look really nice. And then I have the Love and Friendship plates and dies, and I'll choose one of these sentiments to complete our card. So really quick and easy and cute. You know, with the Letterpress, you can just keep cranking them out and you can have tons of them ready to go, or however it is that you like to create your cards. But let me grab the machine or the tool and some papers, and I'll be right back. Just to start out, I have a standard A2 size card, so if you're making your own from an A2 size piece of paper, cutting it at 5.5, score at 4 1/4, and then you have your card base. And this guy, I will cut it down, but for right now I kept it the 4 1/4 by 5.5 because in case, you know, my paper moves or something happens, I can still make sure it's going to mat and be nice and straight. So I'm leaving the whole thing, but I will trim it down. You can also die cut it afterwards, you know, if you have a certain shape you want to die cut, something like that. Let me put these guys to the side. Oopsie. And let's grab this guy. So like I said, I'm going to run this one through without any ink. I suppose you could put some ink on it even if you wanted to, like with the metallic paper, but you have to use very specific inks because metallic paper really wants to repel ink. So there you go. But to begin, I am going to place this guy using the guides like right center, at least in my opinion what is center. So I'm seeing he's kind of in here. We have this little edge. We have like a 1/4 inch at the top, 1/4 inch at the bottom. Trying to keep it pretty straight already. I can see you can probably go over this way a little bit. And whenever I use my Letterpress, I always have the 3 shims that it came with under here. So the 3 are always there. And then this guy, we're gonna want to center it. And that's what I was saying. So maybe I'm a little left, maybe I'm a little bit right, you know. So what I want to do is just pop it on there, and I'll trim away whatever I want for my matte layer. So we're gonna have the pretty part facing down, our pretty paper, because that's what we want to get going. I have these little bits here that have been here, so I'm just gonna take that and pop this on here, and I mean that looks pretty good. And I can see, like, even though I lined it up on the plate, it's a little high in one area and less on the other, so let me turn it over. Yeah, well, that's a little better, but I can see that it's still a little higher up here than it is here. So again, that's kind of why I was saying I left myself some room to cut away because it's not super perfect there. Okay, so we're just gonna run this guy through without any ink. And we're gonna let that impression get onto my paper, and I can already see kind of the design even on this back of the paper here. So let's turn it over and look how pretty. Just subtle and gorgeous back there. Again, we could ink that up and you would have it inked up. Okay. While this is out, we can go ahead and move on. Let's do this guy. And I actually haven't grabbed paper or ink for this. I'm going to try something. I'm going to try the inks, and if you guys want it, I mean, you can run things at the same time. Even your lettering, if you have your sentiment, you want to pop it on here and just run it all through. Very much letterpress in that regard. That'd be so fun. So you can ink this up a different color than this and this, and then your lettering, run it through. The whole card is done at once. Maybe we should try that. Okay, let me do what I was going to do, and then we'll think about that in just a minute, just because it sounds very cute. Okay, so for this guy, it doesn't really matter where he's lined up at, and actually I can go ahead and do my sentiment too, so we just read it through and we'll have both things that we'll cut later. I was looking at this, I like the keep me in your heart, I'll stay there forever. So cute, so let me grab that one. It's right here. And I think, you know, the pink was very bright, and I just saw it here with, you know, my stash of papers and thought it's really pretty. I was thinking about doing purple, just some other color to bring it a different color. And I think I'm going to try, since, like I said, I want to try out some of these things. I'm not sure if I'm going to do them both on white paper. I guess I should, huh? Let's see. I have some of the watercolor paper. And then we have like the cotton paper. A lot of watercolor paper, like a high-end watercolor paper, is made from cotton, and it's really nice stuff. So, I mean, these things are pretty interchangeable. I actually probably can get these guys closer together, and that way I can just get them done on one piece of paper. It's like this. Let's see, how much of this do I need? Maybe here. So this is just a different kind of cotton paper, like I had mentioned. I want to see where that's at so I can roughly get them in the right spot here. Just kind of imagining where that is. Okay, about here. And here. Yep, looks like we got it. Okay, so I'm going to try this LDRS Grape Ape. It is a hybrid ink, and I haven't tried anything else other than like the archival ink, so I'm going to grab that. Let me grab my black archival. I'll be right back. Let's work over here because I don't want to have that in the way. That's going to make it not work for us. Okay, black on my lettering, and again, you want a nice juicy ink pad. So I have this guy. I'm going to cut these out, that's why I don't mind where they're at. I'm just leaving it that way. And then let's try this purple. Again, a hybrid ink does have, well, actually I don't know what they have, but I'm assuming it has pigment and water-based. I have no idea, but it's hybrid, and that'll work with alcohol ink markers and things like that, and also water-based things. So I'm just getting that on there, and we will see how it does. Let's run that through. The ink pad does make a difference, and why I think this one will work is because it is also the same kind of ink pad that archival ink has, like where it has the fabric feel. It's not like foam and squishes everywhere. But let's see what we got. Sorry about that. That is so pretty, and look how juicy that is. All right, guys, good to go. And then I have my little lettering, and again, I get this question a lot, like, what's the difference between that and just stamping? I mean, I don't know. It's easier to see in real life. Like, do you see how it's embedded? You can see that, and it just has a look to it, you know? So you can see here where my nail kind of falls into the little grooves, this little booty there. All right, so I'm gonna cut these guys out. Let me set this up again, as I talked about earlier. Like, let's say we had this, and then our little guy, and you can see kind of what more of a letterpress look might look like. Oh, you know what? Hello, this thing has these cute little arrows right here that you can definitely line up as registrations. That is so smart, even up here, right? At the top. And that's how we know that this frame is going to be nice and straight. I didn't even think about that. My goodness. Okay, so there we go. That's really nice and straight. Let's get our little guy on here, and let's get our lettering. Again, am I modeling this? I mean, we have grids, so I can see like the I'll stay there. The end of the E, the beginning part of the I is nice and straight on that line, so that should be pretty straight. And then our little guy can just be however, right? More artsy. Let me get a piece of paper ready for this, and I'll be right back. I was gonna tape this down, but you know I like to do everything with you guys. So this is just 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 full on. I'm just gonna stick it down here, and you can put 4 pieces of tape. I just have the 2, and that works fine. Let me put that to the side. Let's still do the black on the lettering. And again, when you're doing this, after you've lined it up, you want to be, you know, kind of careful, because if you start going like this, you might move it. So just do that as gingerly and carefully as you can. And then we'll go with the purple. Cute. Again, I'm kind of still doing that same technique where you kind of do a little twist. Pay attention to if you have any little fabric bits staying on your plate, because that will definitely show up. And then, let's see about grabbing a pink, and I probably should have grabbed it already. Lipstick Jungle, it's kind of a reddish pink. Let's use that one around the edge. Oh my gosh, so juicy. Well, that's the other thing too. These ink pads from LDRS Creative is that they are very juicy. They have tons of colors like this where it's for like little jewel pads that you can definitely try out. And then they have, of course, full-size pads. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm excited to check this out. Okay, in case they start drying, which I doubt, you can go just kind of huff on there, get your little breath on there. It'll reconstitute the ink. And let's run this guy through. And that's just white, like high quality, heavy duty cardstock. You guys, this is so fun. And because again, you have it on your press, you can do it again and again and again and just keep going, and look at that, all at once. That is so cute. And yeah, you're good to go. Put on a new piece of paper, ink it up again, don't move anything, run it again, do the thing, run it again, you know, and you're all set up. And you have this beautiful, I mean, oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. This is so cute. Okay, let me clean up and I'll be right back. So I'm just putting some of these items away, but I do need, well, we'll trim these guys down in just a minute. What I want to do is go ahead and run these guys through. So I'm gonna cut this little guy out. How cute is that? Now I see that his little arrow is in here, and even though I have everything else lined up and it'll probably just cut just as fine, what I'm going to do is make a little aperture. And sorry, I'm just looking for a scrap of paper, something like this. And I'm gonna do that because I'll know for sure, well, have a better idea, let's say, where we're cutting. So let's do that. Let me put this to the side. You can do the same thing with the lettering if you want it to be like straight on, but generally with the lettering I can see right through the die and get that cut out. But let's cut this guy out. And if you want to make a drop shadow, you can definitely do this with the color of drop shadow you would want. That way you're not just, you know, wasting a little scrap of paper. But let's say I wanted this to be drop shadow purple, I would run it through purple paper, so I would have that. Okay, so that tape cut for some reason. That was interesting. I'm going to pick this up as carefully as I can. And what you do is you use this little guide to show you where you are cutting, and you will have a much better idea. That looks really great. And make sure that this die goes right back into that groove, right? Because it can shift. Just make sure it's right back in there. Now, I don't generally like to put tape on my area here, especially because this is like that special cotton or watercolor paper. So I'm going to be careful. I think if anything, what I'm going to do is just barely put it from like right there to like right here, that little scrap. And just make sure when I bring it over here that it hasn't really moved. And let's give it a cut and see where we're at. It's really tight because that paper is thicker than the paper that I use is thick too. There we go. Looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, that is right on. Okay, I'll cut out my lettering too. Okay, so I just cut this guy out. Again, I just eyeballed this one, so we are right on there. Do the same thing, same trick if you would like to be, you know, really sure where you're at. And okay, So before we really continue, what I'm going to do is maybe trim a little bit of this off. Again, I like to have like a little 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, just a little something. You can definitely take a die that cuts out, you know, this whole area, whatever you like. Same thing with this one, I'll trim it down just a little bit, and I'll have some card bases, and I'll be right back. These card bases just need a little glue. Actually, we can just use one of these guys. Our little guy here, and this one I'm just going to stick down. Try to do that in a straight fashion here. Oopsie, did I close it up? Or did I run out? Oh, I may have run out. Okay, well there it goes. Nope, just didn't have it quite right. Again, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and just pop that on there. I mean, it can be a note card on its own or a postcard even, right? But there we have it. There we go. And then with this guy, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and just do the same thing, tape, 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 and just glue that down, and I'll be right back. And then I have my sentiment, and we have our little guy. So cute. So I think what I'll do is I'll pop him up on some very low profile dimensional, and then I'll just glue that down. So just glue on the back of this, put it down right there, and I'll have some dimensionals on the back of this. And just pop it down. So I have our little guy here, and let's have him a little, maybe something like that. A little floating, kind of more facing down this one, a little more upright on this one, but there are a couple ideas, exact same plates and die set. Really, really cute. So thank you so much. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, LDRS Creative, for sending these items for review. I just love the way that came out. So cute. So anyway, guys, I'll have some images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box for you guys, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.